All right, guys, last but not least, let's talk about lookalike audiences. Lookalike audiences, like I've said before, are one of the biggest advances in modern advertising. It allows you to take a seed or source audience that's very small, right? 100 people, 1,000 people, relatively small, right? And then use Facebook's unbelievable algorithms, complex algorithms and data to be able to say, okay, there's 100 people in my custom audience. I want to make that way bigger so I can actually advertise to a ton of people and scale my advertising campaigns to people who are probably also interested. So of that 100 custom audience, we're going to go out and find, hundreds of thousands or millions in some case who share as many characteristics as possible with my source/seed audience, which is usually a custom audience, right? And so what we're going to do to actually go ahead and create that, and I wanted to kind of show all of the different things that you might see here. So when you create custom audiences that are too small to be able to make into lookalike audiences, you'll get audience is too small, right? Or you can say, it'll say ready right here, or it'll say populating. And when you have a lot of data, like if I did, for example, a custom audience of all of my website traffic in the last month, since it's like, over 100,000, it can take a couple of hours, even sometimes overnight, for Facebook to actually populate that, because it has to go out and match all of those people's pixel ID to their user ID to their Facebook accounts to be able to let you actually advertise to them, right? And so we're going to create an audience here, and instead of choosing custom audience how we have been, we're going to choose a lookalike audience. And lookalike audience, it kind of looks like this, right? Find new people on Facebook who are similar to your existing audiences. All right, and that's a great way to kind of describe it in a simple way. Find new people on Facebook who are similar as possible to your existing audiences, in this case being our custom audiences. So you can choose either a custom audience or a page here. So what we can do is we can choose, we can choose one of my pages here. We can choose one of my custom audiences. We see them all kind of populate here for us to be able to make lookalike audiences from. Right, and so we can create a lookalike audience from anything that we just did, but let's go ahead and choose the order but not thank you page, because that one was actually large enough. And sometimes it does allow you to make lookalike audiences from these that it says are too small, like the top 25% of website traffic it says is too small, but it allows me to actually create a lookalike audience from it. Let's see if it lets me actually finish this. Sometimes it allows you to do it, but then you just won't get, the impressions that you want and things like that. But it might. Okay, so it is letting us do it. We'll see if it actually populates. But either way, you want to create lookalike audiences with enough source data to actually create an accurate lookalike audience, right? Because the more source data, the more seed data, the more people in your custom audience, for example, the more accurate your lookalike audience will be, and then the more profitable your campaigns will be using that lookalike audience. Right, and so the order but not thank you page, we see that one right here, 1700 and ready. 1700 is enough source data to actually make it work. 100 is like the bare minimum. I like to have 1,000 people in my source data, right? 1,000 impressions, 1,000 people who visited my website, 1,000 people who engaged with my Facebook, right? 1,000 people in our source audience to create a lookalike. So we're going to choose the order page but not thank you, which is right here. And then it asks for us for a location, right? So location is an important one. So most of us, or not most of us, but some of us are going to be advertising in the United States. So we're going to choose United States here, but you can actually also choose other countries if you want to expand into other countries. So let's say that everyone that you generally sell to is in the United States. And so you have all of your source data, all of your seed data, all of your pixel data and events and things like that are coming from people in the United States. But let's say you sell a digital product, for example, then you want to expand. But you don't have any presence in the UK, for example. What you can then do, right, is you can actually choose the UK here, and Facebook will say, okay, well, there's 1,000 people in our source audience from the United States. Let's go find people who are similar to that source audience in the United Kingdom, right? And so it's a beautiful way to kind of expand internationally, leveraging the unbelievable amount of data that Facebook has. So we're just going to choose the United States here. And something that I do want to note, you have to have at least 100 people in your seed audience to make this work sometimes, especially with Facebook pages. So like if you try to do a Facebook page as your source and then the location as like Zimbabwe or like some kind of smaller country or a country that doesn't have as many Facebook users, it's not going to let you do it. But we're just going to do our order page but not thank you, and we're going to do the United States. and then the audience size, right? So what this means, guys, is audience sizes range from 1% to 10% of the total population in the countries you choose, with 1% being those who most closely match your source, right? And so this is what Facebook tries to say is if you choose a 1, it's going to be your most accurate. But, you know, Facebook, like every piece of software, is not perfect. And so every time that I make a lookalike audience, I like to show the advanced options here, and this is a little ninja hack, guys, so pay attention. And then it allows you to actually generate a number of audiences, and the maximum number of audiences it allows you to generate is 6. And so we're going to choose 6 right here instead of 3. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do 0 through 1, 1 through 2, 2 through 3, 3 through 4, 4 through 5, and then we're going to do 5 through 10. Right, so now we're going to generate 6 different audiences here, and then we can split test all 6. And what you'll find, guys, is the 1, right, which is technically, according to Facebook, supposed to be the most accurate, is not always going to give you the best results. I've had times where like my 2 through 3 has performed 10 times better than my 0 through 1. And that's just, you know, it's just the chaos theory, right? Facebook, and no piece of software is perfect. What makes you successful on Facebook, like I said, have said again and again and again, is testing, testing, testing. So the more, you know, split tests that we can do with all of these different audiences, the more audiences that we can test to see what's working, the better, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to hit create audience, and then Facebook is going to perform some unbelievably complicated kind of algorithmic stuff in the background, and then all of a sudden it's going to create these lookalike audiences. And then when we go to create our advertisement, all we have to do is select this specific lookalike, and we are ready to go, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that one. That is lookalike audiences. That is how you form a huge audience from a smaller seed audience, so you can really scale your campaigns, reach more people, and most importantly, make more profit, guys. So I hope you enjoyed that one, and let's get to the next.